This is a 2007 Jeep Commander, and we have to replace the radiator. You can see under the Jeep there, that is the location of where the leak is coming from. And that would be the driver's side of the radiator. It's hard to tell where exactly it's coming from, but that general area and then dripping down. First thing we're gonna do is drain that radiator, and you gotta find the petcock on the bottom of the radiator. Mine is on the driver's side, and I attached a hose to the end. There's a fitting on there that you could actually attach a hose. Not all of them have that, but it helps drain it. So we're gonna drain the radiator out first, and then once we've drained that, then we can start disassembly. We can also remove the rad cap here, and that might help drain a little faster. The fan shroud and electric fan are all one assembly here. There's going to be 4 bolts that are holding that on, 2 on either side. There's going to be a 10 mil socket to remove those bolts. That's what I'm using to remove those 4 right there. Might be hard to see, but the first one is just underneath where the rad cap was. So there's an ear just under there. That's going to be one of them. The other one is further down, hard to see. It'll be the same on the driver's side as well. Underneath, we've disconnected that lower rad hose. That's going to be on the passenger side. We've got our bucket underneath to capture any fluid that's coming out of there. This is after we've drained the rad. Now over on this side, we've disconnected that electrical for the fan. Probably going to have to get at that from underneath is the best spot. Right here was our petcock that we used to drain the radiator, and I just hooked a hose on the end of that over there. Over here you can see one of the ears where 10 mil bolts get removed. This is again on the passenger side. Over here is the bottom ear on the driver's side. Removing this electric fan and fan shroud assembly, we're going to remove our top rad hose. That's going to be the easiest. That gives us some room. And then we're going to take that driver's side and push it towards here. And then we got to get it in around here. This is the bad spot here where those ears got to get around here. There's no give for this thing. We have to manipulate it around that and pull it out. To get this grill out, there's going to be a series of clips on the top here. These clips here have this top piece that gets pushed down in there. So you pry that out. Once you get that top piece pried out, then you can take the bottom out as well. So it's kind of like a 2-piece clip. And then it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With those 6 clips removed, you're just going to get the top up over the light here and over here. And you're going to lift that, and once you get it past there, this bottom will just come out. There's some fingers that hold it in place down there. Looks like we're going to have to remove this little rubber cover here. Those are just 2 push plugs in there. We can take those out, and then we get access at our bolt, which is going to be in behind. Over on this side, we already have access to that bolt there. And then down on the bottom, you got to go underneath the bumper to get those ones. There's going to be one here underneath this wire right there. And then here's another one on the driver's side. Again, you can reach that underneath the bumper. We've got that little shield removed there, and because this is plastic, because this is just off the window washer tub, and that's just a plastic ear on there, you might be best to snip the head off of there rather than try to pry it out and run the risk of wrecking those ears there. After removing those 4 bolts that hold the rad in, there's a few other ones we got to remove here. So we've got one right there. We've got another one right there. And those are going to hold in our air conditioning and our oil cooler right here. Additionally, this rad has to be dropped in from the top. So we've got to remove this piece here. So we've got 2 bolts there. We're going to have 2 in the center. And then we're going to have another 2 right there. And removing this top plate, there's a couple of things here. One of our issues was this is like a rivet and this is like metal. So you're gonna have some doing to get that out of here. And this is plastic, so you don't wanna break this. And I just kept prying on it until I could kind of work that around this shoulder here. On the underneath, there's a little clip here, and that clip is going to be for your cable that's going for your hood release. When it comes to fasteners, we're gonna have 2 10 mil over here, 13 mil in the center, 10 mil on the end, and everything associated with the radiator, the cooler, and the air conditioning was 10 mil as well. We've got some more antifreeze coming out the bottom of the rad here. That's the lower rad hose there. As we're trying to massage this thing out of there, it's getting caught on some wiring and hoses and other things like that. Down in the bottom there, there's going to be 2 pockets that the bottom of the rad sits in. So there's one over there and one over there by the bottom rad hose. You might have to break it free there. Over on this side here, you've got this electrical plug that's in our way. We still got this stuff to deal with over here. We have the ear of the rad that has to be pushed that way, come up and over our connections for our air conditioning here. And that's going to be on both sides. We've got to work this side out a little more. So you continue to work with that and try and get that out of there as best you can. There's the old rad there. Here's the new one. We got a few things we've got to take off the old one there. We have these little rubbers that go into the bottom for those locating pins. We also have these rubbers here, and those are going to go right there. And then our new rad already has the metal clips in there for the fasteners, but I removed those off the old one as well. There's a part number for anyone who's interested. We've got the rad loosely installed. You're gonna have to play with it to get it in there. It's not straightforward, it's not very easy. What I did was I had this piece that way, and I kind of started this one in because this stuff's in your way. So start that in there, and then kind of swing this over this way once you've kind of got it lined up where it needs to be. We got our bolts in, but they're loose. So we have that bolt there is loose. This one's loose. Over on this side, that one's loose, that one's loose. We have these two at the bottom that are loose as well. We have one there. We have another one there. We have everything loose fitting, make sure it's all lined up and fitting good, and then we can tighten those down. Now would be a good time to hook up that hose. Well, we got lots of room. So in here we've put on our fan shroud and our electric fan. We've hooked up our overflow hose right there. We've got our top hose hooked up. We've got our bottom hose hooked up. I put a little drain hose on the bottom of this rad, and then I just zip tied it to the bottom. Here's that little hose that I put on the bottom of the petcock here, so in the future you can just take these zip ties off. There's one there and one there. And then when you cut those free, then this hose will dangle down, and then you can drain your rad if you had to. We've plugged in our fan right here. We have our lower fastener for the fan shroud right there. We have another one right there. Those are both going to be 10 mil. That's the top one on the driver's side. 10 mil again there. A little hard to see here, but here's that last one right there. That's going to be 10 mil as well. We snugged up all our fasteners in the front. We've got one there, one there. You also want to make sure that the rad is seated properly in the bottom before you tighten anything. We have that one there, that one there. And again on the bottom we have that one and that one. And those are all going to be 10 mil. The top support's installed. There was two 10 mil bolts on this corner, two 10 mil bolts on that corner, and two 13 for the center here. What I'm going to do is try and line up where our witness marks are for where the bolts were on the two sides. And then again, I did the same thing for these nuts here, where the bracket was dirty, and then you could see where it was, so I bolted it in the same place. And then while we have it like this, I close the hood, make sure that it's operating correctly before I put that grill in, just in case you got to get at that cable to open up the hood. I welded a bolt on the back side of the bracket here, so now it's just a nut to remove to free that up. To install our grill, we're going to line up our fingers. Looks like we only have one left. There's one there. That one's broken, that one's broken, and that one's broken as well. So you line up your fingers right there, and then you'll just tilt the grill forward. And once you've tilted it forward, it'll kind of clip itself into place there. Now we'll finish installing our clips as we removed. Remember, there was 6 of them, 2 here, 2 in the center, and 2 over here. Remove the rad cap, we'll pour our antifreeze in. It's a good start to put back in what we took out, and then we can top it up thereafter. After you've put your antifreeze back in, leave the rad cap off, start the vehicle, and let it run for a while. And as antifreeze circulates, let it burp out all that air that's in the system. When I drained the antifreeze, I reclaimed it into these 2 jugs here. Now they're not full, but they're almost full, so it gives you an idea how much antifreeze you're gonna need to restore the system. We put our 2 jugs of antifreeze in. We still got a little bit left over there, so you could see where it's full, where the rad cap goes. I removed that plug right there, and I primed it right there too. It's full there, and then what I'll do is I'll put that plug back in there. With that plug back in there and the rad cap off, I'm just gonna let this run for a little bit and try and bubble some of that air out of there. You can see after running for a few minutes how the coolant has dropped in level. It'll come up and down a few times there
Hopefully we see some air bubbles coming out. We're satisfied that we've tried to get some air out of there. Put the cap back on and take it for a spin, make sure everything's working as it should. You don't want it to overheat for some reason. If there was a blockage somewhere or it wasn't circulating properly, so you're kind of checking for that. Just make sure everything's normal operating temperature and everything seems to be working fine, and that's pretty much it.